Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. A minute ago I uploaded video 1 of what happened to Douglas Murray's logic when talking about the 3 Israeli hostages, and that's the video I made. And this is a continuation of that particular one. This is part 2 of that video, where I'm going to play the video that I started, where Piers Morgan interviews Douglas Murray and Cenk Uygur, which unbelievably in this video Cenk Uygur behaves better than Douglas Murray, which way better. When Douglas Murray attacks Cenk first at home in the attack, which usually happens the other way around. I used to like Murray. I never liked Uygur. Now in this one Uygur behaves very good. Murray behaves as I haven't seen him but only one time before, and this is strike number 2 for him. The first one was after he was at Piers Morgan with Norman Finkelstein, and he called Norman Finkelstein in his first statement about Norman Finkelstein, called him a sociopath. At home in the attack. Just we can say, well, it's an assessment. I've never heard of this guy being so like this ever. But this is a subject that I said, when you want to find out someone's intellectual honesty, ask him about the Israel conflict and whatever, or Russia and Putin, and you're probably going to figure out how honest that person is in his statement. Nevertheless, I'm going to continue with this, analyzing Douglas Murray's direct at home in the attack on Cenk Uygur. Unbelievably, and his lack of, I would say, logic, and he's a very logical person. Watch the first part. I explained for about 4 minutes or 5 minutes at the beginning of that video what I really think about Douglas Murray. I don't have to do it again. I used to like him. He's logical and so on, but something triggered. So we have this video right here, and here is where the weasel Piers Morgan is going to ask Murray a question, and please watch Douglas Murray's facial expression. Please watch his expression, how he makes all kind of reasons. He brings all kind of, it's because of this or because, not being honest, I think.
In just over 2 months, she said Israel's turned Gaza into a hellscape. At least 8,000 children have died, more than the death tolls of Pearl Harbor, September the 11th, and Hurricane Katrina.
Did you see how he shook his head and he raised his eyebrow? Like, what the fuck?
Combined.
Breathing out. Jesus, this is tiring. Why do I need to know Pearl Harbor? I know the Israel thing. So, and listen to this. He's going to make an argument that is, like I say, whoever says A or B is this or that. It's no option 3 or 1, 2, no 3.
Are gigantic and horrendous numbers of children being killed. Do you not have any qualms about the number of children being killed? I mean, does it not suggest that Israel?
I want to hear Queen Rania talking about this as much as I want to hear Queen Camilla or Meghan Markle. I mean,
this guy who's homosexual talks about those people. If someone will, let's say, talk about his lifestyle like that, how do you think he would be? How do you think he will take it? He's the tolerant. I like Murray. Nobody attacks him on that. But he, I don't care about those guys. Those guys are this, those guys are that. I wonder the first time when he's going to be attacked, hey, you know what? Actually, what are you going to say? I'm guarantee he's going to play the victim right there.
Pathetic. Queen Rania is holding on to her own position in Jordan. The only piece of advice she has for anyone is how to marry a king. Queen Rania herself is just playing a very nasty political game. If she cared at all, and I would pose this to all the states in the region, if Jordan cared at all for the Palestinian people, they would take them in.
What kind of argument is that? What are you talking about? No, the Palestinians should stay in Palestine. Why would they take them in? No, Israel has no business in driving them out. No, they should take them in. No country should take them in. Israel should not kick them out. No, don't create refugees. So it's like they should take them in, and I will take further advice of that. So I would say, Murray, I would take the only advice from you about a golden shower or something. Would that be okay? If I say the only advice from you, I would take it regarding that issue. Oh my God, Emil! But he can say these kind of things, and I'm okay with him saying this kind of thing. I'm okay with him saying this kind of things. I'm not talking about, hey, that's offensive. I don't give a fuck about offensive. But he's an intellectual, or at least up to about a month ago, 2 months ago, since he turned towards whatever. He's not. I don't know what he is. He's just this guy's got something on him. I am not sure yet. And he's not done. He's going to attack anyone who has a different opinion, is either this or that. He says, he decrees.
All right, they would take them in. They don't want them. If the Egyptians wanted them, they'd take them in, but they don't. Do you know why?
Why would they take them in? Why? Why should someone take someone who are driven out by some others? No, those others, why don't we look at the ones who drive them out? The Palestinians should not be refugees. Who creates the refugees situation? Hamas? What is he talking? And he's going to tell us why.
Because every country that takes in the Palestinians gets terror. It happened in Egypt, it happened in Jordan, it happened in Syria, it happened in Lebanon.
What about United States of America? That too? Is because of what? They hate our freedoms? Why do we have alerts in the Western world? It's because they accepted this kind of people in there? Or maybe because the governments of certain kind of countries stuck their dirty nose in that region in one direction. Murray?
Happened in Tunisia, on and on. That's why these people don't really care about their fellow Muslims. They just care about hating Jews.
All right.
Did you hear that? Did you hear? What kind of argument is this? They don't care about them. The only thing they care, this is Douglas Murray, is unbelievable, is caring about hating. Wow, Murray, are you paid? Do they have a video on you? What the hell happened here? Someone triggered, told you something? What? Did you hear? I've never heard Douglas Murray being so. That's only reason. Only one. No other one. I don't know what's going on here. He's tired, maybe. I have no idea. It's not over.
Take your response.
Well, Cenk, I'm not going to listen to his response because unbelievably logical and calmer than Douglas Murray's. I am very disappointed, and I say, well, you did a good job, Cenk. You kept your cool down. You didn't attack him only after you got attacked. Usually Cenk attacks and calls people, blah, 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 you're stupid, you're dumb, you're blah, blah, blah. This case, no, he didn't do it first. Douglas Murray, the intellectual, did it first. Probably because he didn't have an argument. Usually when you revert to or resort to calling people names, it means you don't have an argument. You lost the argument, actually. So let's get further in this video. So here is where Douglas is going to be turning ad hominem in minute, actually 8. And even before that, he attacked everyone who disagreed with him. Is something wrong with him? So anyway, let's go and see how he attacks anyone who disagrees, including Cenk.
Several things. First of all, anyone who uses the term genocide in this context simply doesn't know what they're talking about, or is a malevolent actor.
Malevolent actor, or doesn't know what they're talking about. Anyone. There's no other way for intellectual Murray. It's only 2 categories. You don't know what you're talking about if you talk about genocide in the whatever happens over there, or you're just a malevolent actor. That's all. That's Douglas Murray. Anyone, all of us, all and nothing. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with him here.
I don't know if Mr. Week has traveled at all in his life.
He's gonna attack Cenk. I don't know if he ever traveled like I traveled. Therefore, if I traveled, I know what I'm talking about. You know about France as much as anyone who traveled 2 weeks or 3 weeks in France. I can tell you all about French history and Napoleon's 1812 attack on Russia. I can tell you all about it just by visiting, the Arc de Triomphe. Is that an argument? And he's going to attack Cenk.
how far he's traveled, how many conflicts he's seen, but I'd have guessed none. And
I have guessed none. What kind of argument is that? He doesn't know probably anything about Cenk. I don't defend Cenk. I don't like the guy. I don't like the guy in any way. But here, he's not behaving like Douglas. Illogical, ad hominem attack. And really, I'm guessing none. He thinks that he's going to get popularity by saying that. He's going to lose some. And I can't believe he was in interviews with Jordan Peterson. And with, and now I understand, with Ben Shapiro and some others. Anyway, let's go back here.
You clearly know nothing about this particular conflict, and you've obviously...
You clearly don't know anything. That means nothing. Anything about this conflict, like him. And he's going to tell us who would know.
Seen none of it. The genocide that you describe is such a smear and a libel against the Jewish state.
The Jewish state. Whomever uses this term, Jewish state, you check mark something. And he used it because he knows better. He's in Israel right now, by the way, looking and watching what's happening over there.
If Israel wanted to commit genocide, I'm sure it could, but it doesn't. It doesn't remotely want to. And people like you and other...
People like you and others. Now he's going to attack with everybody who's bad.
Pro-Palestinian propagandists have spent years claiming that Israel is committing genocide.
Listen to this argument that he makes. And I have a counter-argument that he's not going to agree with.
Gaza. By the way, the weirdest thing about this claim is that the population of the Gaza has grown by 1 million in the last 15 or so years. So if Israel was trying to carry out a genocide, it's either the worst perpetrator of genocide ever or uniquely poor at performing that task. None of...
Question. How come we have so many Holocaust survivors if Hitler eliminates so many? That means, I'm going to use his, he was so poorly at doing that task. I mean, if he uses this argument, oh, those guys double, you got 1 million, then how come you still have them? If you look at how many Holocaust survivors we have and we had, there's some studies on that. I'm not going to mention names and all that because it's politically incorrect, but you can go and find out how many. You're going to find out there were Holocaust survivors. I think they're more than the ones that 6 million. I don't know. Just look into it. I just give you a few clues. But if you ask him, how about that? So he didn't have time? 3 years, 4 years? Because the final solution that Adolf and it didn't start in 1939, did it? The concentration camps started later, in 1940s. Not 1939. But anyway, what do I know? Let's go back to Murray because he's going to make some arguments. Again, he's not going to make the same arguments. Hey, that guy had years and didn't, but this guy is multiplied.
Of genocide ever or uniquely poor at performing that task. None of the stats support that ridiculous claim. It's such a weird smear and a libel.
Ridiculous libel smear. Everything is like it tries to smear this guy. If you think something else than he wants you to think, you are bad, you're this. Ridiculous smear. Impossible. Only in absolutes here.
Of Israel. Secondly, of course, you've just rattled off Hamas figures, as everyone of your kind always does.
Of your kind. Because he said about children, about 8,000 children being killed, and the whole world cried for the 36 Israeli children and so on, and he's going to say something that he assumes.
Thirdly, you said that the world cried. World cried. You said that the people like you who cover for the Palestinian extremists. Thirdly, you said that the world cried out for the 36 Israeli dead children. No, they didn't, and you.
No, they didn't. I cried. Hey, I cried. How did you know the world did not cry? Again, it's from absolutes. He talks in absolutes. The world cried. No, it didn't. How do you know, Murray? Do you know if anyone or all or nothing? That's not an intellectual point. And he's going to say, and you know it. I like when someone said, well, you know I'm right. You know it, I'm right. How the fuck? And you know then that I'm right. Or you know that you're wrong. What? So remember, everything that he says here, you know this. The other guy can say the same thing, and you know this. So I can make a point and say, and you know it. And you can make your point, which is opposite to my point, and tell me, and Emily, you know that. That's not an argument, intellectual Douglas Murray. I've never heard him so... I don't even think this is the same guy, really.
Palestinian extremists. Thirdly, you said that the world cried out for the 36 Israeli dead children. No, they didn't, and you know that very well. You know that very well.
Very well.
If you put up a poster to a missing dog...
Again, he talks about ripping posters of hostages, and some people rip them off. And he claims here, I'm not going to play this, it's too long. He claims, Douglas Murray, that everywhere they get ripped. Again, he's going to talk in extremes, all and nothing. Not true. Things are not really working like that. And you know it. My friends, here it is. This is unbelievable Douglas Murray. I don't know. And the last point that he makes here in this video that I will use, he's going to talk about hypothetical scenarios. And he talks like you can use hypothetical here, but you can't use it on the other side. Let me show you what he says. Douglas Murray again. Sorry.
Two other very quick points. Firstly, you said what Hamas might do, as if it was some kind of hypothetical. Hamas showed what they do. What
can we apply the same thing to Israel? And you say, what? Well, how many United Nations Security Council resolutions, or not only the United Nations General Assembly resolutions, condemned Israel for that and for that and for that? Anything happen? Can they be trusted? Because that's about trust. Douglas Murray right now is going to say Hamas cannot be trusted. Okay, Hamas cannot be trusted. How about Israel? Oh, definitely. Oh, man.
Want to do. It showed it on October the 7th, and its leadership, as I'm sure you very well know, said that they would like to repeat that again and again until they have got rid of every Jew.
Well, I will play in the next video more than this, because it's going to take much longer. And he's going to talk now about, I think that's inaccurate, but whatever, he's going to talk about why Palestine or Palestinians don't have a state. And obviously it's Palestinians' fault, which we know what's going on here, right?
For preventing a Palestinian state. It is nonsense that the Israelis have prevented a Palestinian state. They gave the Gazans a Palestinian state in 2005. They gave them a Palestinian state.
They gave them, they were supposed to have one in 1948. Douglas, wake up. When the Jewish state, as I try to have some points here, when in 1948 was created the state of Israel, a Palestinian state was supposed to be created, Douglas. So since then until now, who was in charge in that area? Well, it was the Arabs attack us. Okay, if there's a will, there's a way. All right. So again, Douglas, I gave him a, I don't know, FF for this performance, and that's called fucking failure. I've never heard him this way, ever. And I'm gonna make the last video after this is done, where again I'm going to show you Douglas, I would say resetting himself, like something is wrong. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.